presentation on our movie, which we've called The Click.
The main ideas for this movie is the genre is going to be like horror, mystery type of film. Our intro scene should have like an unwelcoming sort of nature to it where we first introduce some of the characters and you get an idea of what type of plot we have. Our current ideas is that we have different scenes of people doing day-to-day activities such as going for a run and mysteriously disappearing after hearing sounds such as fingers clicking. It will end with a car scene with someone about to drive off, which then they disappear and the camera slowly zooms in to a phone ringing with the logo that we've chosen and The Click as the title.
So our main inspiration comes from the movie Countdown, where the phone is significant as it haunts when the person will die. In our case, it shows when the person has vanished or disappeared. We are also taking conventional themes from other genre movies about similar topics by making the vanishings ambiguous and unclear.
The mood and atmosphere we want to create is a sense of unease as the audience realise what's going on. They realise that at the click of a finger they disappear with no sort of backstory or reason. The sense of unease should carry out until the end of the sequence, until they are met with the phone call. This should leave the audience with a sense of anticipation to continue watching, but also a continued sense of unsettledness as they have not been given an answer or reason behind these people disappearing.
So to find out our target audience, we did various methods of research. One of our big ones was doing some secondary research into similar movies with similar themes, such as horror. From looking at two horror movies, Saw X and The Black Phone, we can see ages under 35 are the most popular viewers. There's also a higher male viewing figure as well as higher social classes, which is A, B and C1, viewing these movies. And this may mean that we'll use more complex content within our film to please our target audience, but it will also keep it understandable for people in teenage ages. And then from our own primary research, we also found that people of younger ages are fans of the horror genre, such as people in our year group.
The types of characters in our plot are unknowing what will happen to them. We want people to be young for a young social group because it adds to the sense of innocence and ignorance. As we have no physical character for the click, we are simply using a dark coloured symbol when it appears on the phone simply because of the connotations of dark colours being sinister and unwelcoming.
That's just our risk assessment for where we're shooting. And this is our mood board with the various places that we want the people to disappear.
This is just more where we're going to be shooting, such as the pond, riverside, fields, car park. We'll probably spend around 1 to 3 days filming this to allow us time to reshoot and improve any shots.
For costume and our mise-en-scène, we want our characters who go missing to be unknowing of their imminent dangers, and because of this, their costumes will solely depend on what they're doing. For instance, the person walking the dog is likely to be in casual clothes appropriate for getting dirty, and this will hopefully add to the sense of ignorance to their disappearances.
For our different shots, we want to start off our intro with a contrasting feel to our overall theme. We want to use a natural sound to show someone in a peaceful setting, such as sitting by a pond. The click will break up the peacefulness around the scene and the character will disappear. This will change the atmosphere of the movie dramatically and will add to the sense of uneasiness. This will also set up the theme of the following disappearances.
This is just our storyboard of examples of where we're filming and what we're expecting to see, as well as our shot ideas. And this is the second storyboard of just a contrast of how we want the scenes to look exactly the same, simply without the person.
The function of our first scene will be someone stood by stood or sat down admiring the pond, maybe reading a book or drawing. This will be filmed with a long shot, so able to capture the background. We'll try to keep the camera as still as possible by using a tripod. When the person disappears, keep the camera angle and the zoom and everything exactly the same to keep the continuity and mysterious eerie effect.
For our second scene, it's just going to be somebody walking a dog around fields, and it's going to be filmed again as a long shot and just showing them what they're doing with their activities. And again, the shot will stay the exact same when the person disappears, and you'll just see the dog walking around with a leash as if the person was never there in the first place.
For this scene, we're going to have a person stood looking into a field with a horse in it. The camera will be shot from behind to show their back and the horse's face. And then when the scene has a click, the person will disappear, but the horse and everything will stay the exact same.
The same occurs, but this time it will be a continuity shot of somebody running around a riverside, and when they run around the bend, they never return after you hear the click.
For our final scene, there's going to be a person sat in a car about to drive off, but just about as they're going to shut the door and drive, they disappear, which then slowly zooms into a phone on the seat.
On this phone, we're going to finally reveal our logo and the click, asking if you would like to accept the call. Before answering, the scene will finish to leave a cliffhanger, which will create more of a mysterious effect, and this will hopefully engage our audiences to continue watching. And our primary research also showed us an equal amount of people liked horror movies with jump scares and being psychological, and this influenced the idea of the click being ambiguous and whether or not you want to find out what it really is.
The plots to capture multiple different shots of different areas featuring people doing day-to-day activities. All of these scenes will be filmed around the farm. We will then reshoot the exact same themes without any people in it. The goal is to create a seamless transition between the two versions, making it appear as though the world continues even though people are mysteriously disappearing. For the final shot, we will zoom into a phone screen revealing a spooky phone call. This moment will showcase the film's logo and title, serving as a dramatic conclusion.
Any questions? You've got seemingly all your characters kind of by themselves in most of these situations. Are there going to be any shots where somebody's with someone else who realises they disappeared, or is it going to be more of a person is there and then they've just gone?
We're just doing individual shots because it just wants to be everyday activities.
Okay.
Because in reality, a lot of the activities that we're doing, people don't do together, and it just adds to the theme of it being ambiguous.
Okay. And how do you foresee the disappearing happening? Is it going to be like an on-screen, like an abrupt jump cut, or is it just going to be we cut away to something and when we cut back, they're not there anymore?
We might have our first scene as something cutting away because we want to disrupt the initial idea that we set out of it being peaceful, and kind of adding the secondary conventions to our thing of it turning into a horror movie from being such a peaceful scene. However, the other ones we might just do a abrupt jump cut.
Okay. Fab. Thank you very much.